important that you just use a very little amount, okay? You're going to take that piece of wax and just kind of smush it between your fingers, and that's going to soften it, okay? The warmth of your fingers will soften it.
That's the wax, right?
Yes. And you can get any of these items from the drugstore or the grocery store. So then you're just going to push it on whatever is bothering you, and you can't just leave it like that because it'll fall off. You have to push it around the brackets, okay? So now put your lip down around it. Does that feel better? Right? Okay, so that kind of gives your mouth a break in case he has like an ulcer right there or something, or a scrape from it. And to take it off, look in the mirror.
Look in the mirror, how to take it off.
Okay, hold the mirror up so you can see what I'm doing, okay? You're just gonna peel the very edge and the whole piece comes right off, okay? Just make sure you're not pulling on the bracket or anything, okay? So do you have a regular or an electric toothbrush at home? Electric? Okay. So I think it's easier to kind of maneuver with a manual toothbrush, but if you use an electric one, that's fine too, okay? But you still have to angle it, okay? When you're on top of, so you're gonna wanna brush in a circular motion, and when you're on top of the bracket, you're gonna brush down. When you're under the bracket, you're gonna brush up. See how the bristles are going underneath the wire? Yeah. If you just go like that, or with an electric toothbrush, just hold it like that, you're gonna have stuff stuck underneath the wire.
So you manually go and up and down both those two.
So, and then this, and it kind of looks like a tree. You can go in there in case you've brushed and you're like, okay, I just ate a soft, you know, bread and it's stuck in between the brackets. This just goes right there so you can get close to the brackets, okay? You don't want to go in between the teeth with this, and you don't want to lift up on the wire, okay?
Oh, okay.
Because this has wire on it too, and you don't want to put any pressure on
the bracket.
But
that's essentially just to think that's between that wire, and that's just to clean that up, right? Going up and down.
Yes, and this is just a travel one of those.
Okay, that's the same kind that,
Yes, that's the same thing that's on the end of that toothbrush, but it's single.
Okay.
Okay.
And you said that's for travel?
Yeah, so if you want, you know, keeps it in his book, you're going to need that still. Hang on to that, okay? If he wants to keep it in his book bag or something, okay? If he can't brush at school or floss at, I mean, you don't want to floss at school. It just takes way too long, okay? So when you floss, you're going to floss in the evening, okay? Not in the morning when you're rushing out the door, okay? Very important that you floss because that's going to keep your gum tissue from getting puffy. If it gets puffy, then it'll start pushing up against your brackets and it'll cause you pain, okay? So it'll make the adjustments when you get a new wiring, it'll make that more painful too, okay? And we will tell you if you're not doing a good job brushing or flossing, and it's not to get you in trouble or anything. It's just because we want to make sure that your teeth are not damaged, okay? So this is a floss threader. This is regular floss, no special kind of floss, and you just thread it through like a needle and thread, okay? I always like to say go ahead and put a little knot in there so you don't have to keep re-threading it, because once the floss gets wet, it's very hard to manage it anywhere. All right, hold the mirror up so you can see. So for the lower braces, you're gonna go from the bottom down. When you get upper braces, you're gonna go from the top down so you don't poke yourself in the lip, okay? So you're just gonna use this as a guide. There we go. And open, just to get the floss through.
Okay. Got it.
Because otherwise, if you just try to floss on top, that wire is going to stop you from getting to the gum tissue. So then you floss like normal. And when you go to take it out, especially when you're really crowded over here, hold the wire so you're not just pulling on the wire in the bracket. So you pull it all the way out and then go on to the next two, okay? I'm going to put this in the bag just so you can use it for reference, okay? These threaders are plastic. They're reusable. You can just wipe them with alcohol or Listerine, and then you can use them until they start shredding. They make another product called Super Floss that takes that threading step out of it. Oral-B makes it. It comes in a box in like the toothbrushing aisle, and you just take the piece of floss out and it has a stiff end on it. So it makes it a little bit quicker, but either way, as long as you're flossing, that's what matters, okay? Any questions for me?
So now, after this is done, do we have to come like for maintenance checkup every once in a while?
So, we would normally see him for his adjustment, like every 8 weeks.
Every 8 weeks, okay.
But it just depends, because if Dr. Nima needs to see him sooner, then he'll tell us, you know, more or longer. But in his case, he's coming back in 2 weeks to get that expander.
So that time we'll...
So at that appointment, we're not going to do anything to lower wire. We're only going to deliver the upper expander and then teach you or your wife, whoever
when you say upper
comes to
expander, that's the same braces. Braces is called expander, no?
No. So what I did first, when I fit the metal rings around his teeth, and then I took the impression, So that's for the expander, which is going to widen his upper arch.
Oh, okay, okay.
So either you or your wife at home will have to turn it, and we'll show you that next time.
Oh, okay.
And that will be a permanent, that will be cemented in next time.
Okay.
Okay.
And that will also stay for the 2 years or whatever.
No. So after we get the expansion and we stop turning it, it normally stays in for about 3 to 4 months after you stop turning.
Okay.
So just because we have to have that bone to grow in where we've widened, so that it's stable. If you take out the expander right after you're done turning, then you're going to lose that expansion.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
And this braces we needed for the upper teeth also at some point of time?
Yes, once we get the upper arch expanded,
okay,
then we will probably start putting the brackets on.
So the way is,
okay.
So the way I'm assuming is that right now we did the lower one. In 2 weeks we do this expander thing.
Yes.
And that time you guys tell us how to turn it on. But turning it on means what?
Well, you're not turning it on. You'll have a key, and the expander has a screw in it. And so you'll turn it, and then the next keyhole is there. So turn it, and then the next keyhole. So it's on like a ring almost.
Okay.
Okay, so every time that you turn it, it expands it just a little bit. So he's not going to feel any pain with that, with the turning it either.
Okay.
It's just
but what is turning? What is the turning? Is the teeth turning or the bones? What is?
So the appliance is turning.
Appliance is turning.
And the appliance is then spreading the upper arch just a little bit each time. And so once we get the expansion that we need, then we stop turning, let that bone grow in between there.
Okay, okay. And then once the bone grows, then at that time we come for the upper braces, right?
No. So sometimes while the expander is still in, but you've stopped turning, but we can't take the expander out yet, we'll put the brackets on so we can go ahead and start moving forward with the treatment up top.
Okay.
While that bone is hardening up top.
Okay.
Then we put the brackets on, so we're not losing any time, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. So we'll know more about it when we come back in 2 weeks. Like what this is. I mean, at the high level, this is what it is.
So when you come back in 2 weeks, we'll deliver the upper expander. We'll cement it in. We'll show you how to turn it.
Okay.
And then you'll come back probably 2 weeks after that, and then we'll check and see how well you did with the expansion.
Okay.
And then Dr. Nima will look and say, oh, he needs this many more turns, or you're done turning, or whatever. So we wait for Dr. Nima to say, okay, you're done, no more turns, and then you'll throw the key away. You won't need it anymore.
Okay, and the expander still stays there for some.
Yes. So after he says stop, no more turns, you're good right now.
Okay.
Then from that point, the expander stays in for 3 to 4 months so that bone can grow.
Okay. And after that, we have to come for taking it out.
We usually do it at the appointment, but I mean he'll tell you when it's time to do the next steps.
Okay.
The next step for him is in 2 weeks to get the expander though.
Okay.
Okay.
So only last question that I have is which I think we already asked earlier itself. So some of his teeth are, because of uneven, they look like they're different length. Yeah. But once they become even then I think that some teeth are bigger than other in terms of the actual length. So would they grow, and because of what I'm trying to understand is how.
Right. So if you want to look at the pictures. So you're talking about how this one is showing more of the tooth than this one is not. So these are going to be shorter anyways.
Okay.
Because they're the incisors of the front teeth. Okay. And so this tooth is going to come up. This tooth is, let's see where that is. So that is going to rotate around. So these lighter wires that he's in right now, they're going to help level and get the rotations out. Okay. So leveling, it's going to bring this tooth up. It's going to bring them all to the.
So once they're all level, then we would really know. I think I would.
Well, each wire gets the teeth straighter. So then Dr. Nima says we'll change to this wire or this wire, and then we'll do this. So and all of that together helps get everything where it needs to be. So even on the lower, he's pretty crowded there, and that's why that tooth is down there. So. But
then expander you did is for the upper teeth, right?
Yes, because. So that's why this tooth is in. It's crowded. It's being pushed together.
Okay.
So we're going to expand his upper arch. The expander is going to go on these two teeth. These are his permanent teeth, and it's going to go on the roof of his mouth. And then you will turn the appliance, and we'll show you how to do that next time. And then that's going to expand the upper arch and make room for these. And any spaces that might come up, we will close that up. It's with we have power chain.
Okay.
Hugs everything together and brings him back. So by the time he's done, he's going to have a perfect smile. Everything will be how it should be. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, nothing. We're good.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So you'll make that appointment with Caitlin up front.